What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Starship Theory. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as my entire ship catches fire and everything goes wrong at the moment. Gotta power that back on. There we go. We're gonna get rid of this asteroid. Get this thing up and out of my face. Get back. There we go. Blow those things up and get them on out of here. We'll take a look and see what we got going on in just a minute, but so far, the run is going well. The run is going very well. In fact, exceedingly well, I would say would be the way that I would describe this. We got about 90 metal left over at the moment. I gotta kill that red alert so they'll get back to work. Get back to work, ya mooks. I need you guys to build floor panel. Make sure you use the marble. I bought the marble special so you could have marble floors, and I know you ain't gonna appreciate it, but I did it anyways because that's just the kind of beautiful, wonderful space god that I am to help you out with the tasks that you currently have arrayed in front of you. Alright, so these guys are going to jump back to work. I'm going to speed the game up so that things actually get done here. Inside of our storage, we now have 85 metal, 85 silicone, 21 gold. We could use a little bit more gold, but gold's not going to be incredibly useful for right now. I'm going to power off all of the laser miners and get those up out of the way. Heat vents I'll leave on because you need heat vents for other stuff anyways, like weapons, and that's more than likely what we're going to set up next. But we're going to need a lot more processing power before we can set all that up. And honestly, Our ship has a lot of wing space. It has a lot of areas where we can put other things. But for the moment, there's a disparity. So it's a lot harder to generate electricity in this game than it is to generate CPU power. And so, we should only have to build, 1 or 2 CPU banks, whereas late into the game, we're still going to be building, reactors all over the place and stuff like that. A little bit of extra space right there. Let me get my menus on open. I'd like to get another floor panel put in here, please. If you can make that happen for me, I would be greatly appreciative. I'm going to move some crates around and some stuff like that, but we want to think about the way we're going to be planning things out in the future and where we want stuff to go from here on in. We're a little bit cramped at the moment. I'll more than likely actually move the food dispenser over to here, power that back on so we're doing research again. And in fact, I'm going to try it. It doesn't save where your windows go if you close your game down and you bring it on back. At least it doesn't for me. And so I think that's a functionality we're going to have to get later on in the patch cycle. There we go. Got my UI set up the way that I like to see it. I don't like the color of our ship right now, so let's go ahead and we're gonna change its stripes right now. We're gonna change it around. This zebra does change its stripes. So the hull color. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go for that's a little bright. I don't really want to make you guys stare at that for an entire series. Maybe we can dull it out ever so slightly. There we go. That looks pretty good. I think I can live with that. And honestly, everything is inside of here. So, let's say for a second that I wanted to make... That's a heat console. I don't want the heat console. We can go, I'll show you with the CPU array. So we've got the... Is this a CPU array or is this just a CPU panel? It's a CPU panel. Let me see. The things aren't arranged, in alphabetical order or anything like that. I do wish that they were just sorted in alphabetical to make things a lot easier to find. But I wanted to show you how we could customize things here, and I swear I'll be able to find it. I mean, maybe this will work for the CPU array. Let's try real fast. If I apply that... Oh, it did. It worked for the CPU array, so I guess this counts for all CPU arrays. What goes well with green? Well, green and silver go well together, but I'm thinking a green and gold. Some kind of in this region over here, I think is what we're shopping for. So we'll get that in, right there. That's not gold enough for me. We gotta take it more towards the orange quadrant. There we go. Yeah, that looks all right. And then we can take the accent over here. We can make the accent whatever color we want as well. I'm thinking that the accent color, let's make it red. Yeah, that'll look good because it'll match up with the other stuff that we got going on too. Let me speed the game on back up and we'll get moving. But yeah, you can change that around. I'll probably do just about everything in that color scheme inside of our buildings. I'll probably darken the floors ever so slightly to make them look a bit better. We got 53 metal right now. The thing that we really need to build right now is that thing that we researched in the last episode, the small plant bed. The small plant bed's going to make our lives quite a bit easier, and I think that it'll nestle right into this nook perfectly fine. We'll put it down there. In addition, I will probably go in and build myself some weapons grids right now. But in order to get the weapon grid up and running, we're going to need something from the engineering. We're going to need CPU panels. And so what I'll presumably do right now is actually start organizing things a bit better. And so I'm going to put in 3 CPU panels right there, which means I'm going to destroy that one. This should be all the CPU that we need for a little while. And then I'll also rearrange our solar panels, I think. Actually, do I want those right there? I don't know if I want those right there. Trying to get things arranged in a way that I like. We're not going to need that many CPU panels, so I'll put one in right there and one in right there, and then we'll destroy this one. That'll put us up to 80, which should hold us for a little while. As far as solar panels go, I'll probably put 3 on each side right here. And so let's go 3 solar panels. Do I have the engineering things I need in order to get medium solar panels? No, I do not. So we'll go down like this. We'll also get another airlock. We're going to line this up on the other side, just in case the unthinkable happens and this one gets destroyed. Losing an airlock when you only have one airlock is one of the worst things that can happen to you in this entire game. Don't let it happen. Always have redundant airlocks all over the place, because it will help you, and it will save you. So just keep that in mind. We're going to get these solar panels all nice and mashed out. We do have a ship coming in, but if it's hostile, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll jump to get away from it. And if it's friendly, we'll see if we can trade some of these goodies for other things that we need in the near future. Ship's on an intercept course. Go ahead and give me a blue alert so that everybody comes inside in case we need to jump. Yes, indeed, if you jump and you have people outside, you will lose those people. They will die. We can sell 64 gold for 120 credits. Do these guys have guns? They have lots of guns. So let's go out of our way to not threaten them, but we will cancel the blue alert so that people aren't looking so panicky and shifty and like holding pistols and like ducking behind consoles. Every now and again they do that thing from Star Trek where they're like, "Arr!" and they just randomly fall out of their seats and then sparks start falling from the ceiling. That's actually a programmed part of our red alert sequence. It just keeps them on their toes, you know? I'm like, red alert, and then they're like, oh god, not the red alert, and things just sparks start falling out of the ceiling. All that kind of fun stuff. We'll get rid of these panels right here. We will get rid of these panels right here, and that should help us get some of the resources back that we've been spending along the way. And this guy can't access food because that powered down, so we'll power that back on. Obviously, that was during something. He's leaving right now. We got another asteroid field coming up, so we should be able to get some decent resources all nice and lined up. I'm going to take another one of these guys who's decent at science. I'm going to assign him to science, and he's going to go down here, and he's going to start growing food for us, which is pretty cool because we're actually getting a little bit low. He'll convert 2 water into 1 food for the foreseeable future, and that will also allow him to level up. I'm going to power these back on, so we got our triple tri-laser going on. And in the next part of this, we're actually going to start throwing in and seeing if we can get ourselves lined up with some weaponry so that we can defend ourselves just in case anybody tries to come at us hard and we don't have a jump ready, because that's one of the other wipeable scenarios that you can get in this game, is that every now and again you'll have a ship coming along that you just can't outrun, you can't outjump him, you can't outdo anything. Let's get that right there. We'll probably mine a little bit of that metal on the way by too. And then we'll get this asteroid out of the way, and that's pretty much all there is to the game. There's stars, there's asteroids, and there's randomly configured ships that jump in and try to kill you and or trade with you. And for some weird reason, I've played this game like 20 hours out of the last 3 days. I've played a lot because for whatever reason the formula works. Like, the game is not buggy. There's like little minor things with the UI that can be irritating sometimes, but by and large everything in the game works and you don't really have to worry about it, and it just plays well and it's enjoyable, and it's something that I found myself putting a lot of time into. And so anyways, Starship Theory, you should definitely keep an eye on it. I think this one's going to be a ringer when it goes to Steam. I think this game is going to do very, very well for the developer on Steam. I think it's going to do very well indeed. I play a lot of games. Most games are pretty much disappointing, and I don't know what to do with them. This game is not going to be relegated to that pile. Plans for right now is we're trying to get some metal together so we can expand the ship out a little bit further, although I will take water if I can't get metal. Water's always useful. You always want to have a whole bunch of water if you can get it situated. And it looks like this asteroid field is going to give us that. That was a very small asteroid field. This space got a small asteroid field. That little tiny flat asteroid field. Alright, well, this asteroid field did not give us anything that we wanted, so we're basically going to be biding our time for a little bit, which means I turn the clock up as fast as possible, and we're just going to ride this thing out until we get to another asteroid field that can give us the thing that we want. For right now, the only weapons we can get are laser turrets, and we can only afford to build 2 of those, but we don't have the CPU power to really properly utilize 2 turrets. So I'm not going to stress out about getting them, because 1 turret is not going to save us from any enemies that decide to jump in and try to murder us. It's just not. We do, however, have our 2 engineering points, which means we can get medium solar panels. So I'm going to go ahead and get those. And I don't know if those are 1 for 1. Yeah, they are like a direct conversion upwards. So what we can do is, in order to conserve space, I don't think they produce more power. Like, I still think they give you 40, but it counts as 2. I would make it maybe give you 45 or maybe give it like 50 so that it's worth it to build the medium panels instead of the small ones. Because right now, I think you're actually in better shape for redundancy's sake to build smaller ones. Although I guess 1 medium solar panel would be easier to repair than 2 damaged singular ones. And so there's arguments to be made in either direction. arguments to be made in either direction. So what we'll do for right now is I will actually remove that panel, and remove that panel. That is going to kill off a lot of our power grid, but it can't really be helped for right now. And then what we'll do is we'll take a medium solar panel and we'll slide that into the slot on each side so that it looks a little bit cleaner. And then I'll probably put one in right there on each side too, just because power is going to be that bear that we find ourselves constantly wrestling with in this game until we get reactors. And once we have reactors, we need floor space to put those reactors in. And so you see what I mean? Like, you're going to feel in this game like you're constantly like backdating and moving things around in order to make them work. We got a star ahead. That's going to suck, especially since this guy's decided to fall asleep on the job without finishing the solar panel. So, you know, we got a little bit of our power back up and running, but I would like them to finish the job before we go past this horrible burning ball of gas in the sky. And so there it is right there. Let's wait it out and we'll see how this goes. I virtually guarantee you something's going to catch on fire. And indeed, I was correct. Things caught on fire. I'm going to go ahead and turn those all back on after the fire goes away. And then while we wait, we'll work on customizing our ship's colors a little bit more. And so we've got the heat console over here. I think the heat console, I'm going to take this back down and we're going to make it gold. Let's take our airlock since I found that first, and we'll get that all nice and colored up here. Call that kind of a goldish color over here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Apply it, and then the accent is going to be just straight silver, I think. And so there it is. I think that looks pretty good. I can live with that. I may move some of the accents around, but our cargo thingy is on fire. Somebody should probably go take care of that. You know, hop into a spacesuit, make it happen, Captain. Science guy's going to go do it because everybody else is being lazy. Good for you, Science guy. Good for you and your applicable use of apparently a fire extinguisher in 0G. Good for you, man. Good for you. Utility engineering station has been powered back on. He's currently converting our water into food, which is great. That's exactly the sort of hustle that I'd like to see here. We don't have a whole lot of resources left, though, and I'd like to save them in case anything goes wrong. Engineers aren't really doing anything right now, so I'm going to assign them to unassigned. They'll go through and they'll actually vacuum up all this trash that's on the floor. You can see all the burn marks and the scuffs and everything else. Dude, we got to have it's space. We've got to have a shiny work surface. If we don't have a shiny work surface, how can we truly call this the future, where everything is optimized and nice and beautiful? I'm going to start getting this all nice and ironed out right here, too, so that we have a pathway that runs down the center. That's going to necessitate the removing of those two tails right there, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we'll take these guys and assign them to be engineers. They'll go do their thing. We want to look into the market of getting new crew pretty soon, too. New crew soon is more than likely one of those things that a just and noble captain would do, because our guys are sleeping on the dirty floor right now. Not dirty anymore, because they got down with that vacuum action, but it used to be dirty. I mean, it's my floor, so I figure at any given moment, it's probably a few spaces away from being incredibly dirty to moderately dirty. Somewhere in between. I don't clean my house for shit. Nope, I don't clean. I don't do nothing because I'm lazy. Because I'm lazy. And honestly, the squalor doesn't bother me that much. I used to have a super fastidiously clean house, and then I got married, and I got like a little bit fatter, and I started eating a little bit too well. And, like, I don't know, it was like I didn't have to worry about being proud of my house anymore because I was like, I've done stuff in life. I've got, like, a YouTube channel. But before I had, like, done anything in life and I was still just kind of coasting, I was like, well, maybe I'll just have a clean house then. Are you guys hostile? I can sell silicon for 80 credits. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I could buy some for 162. I can buy metal. But if we get an asteroid field coming up, I can sell food, too. He's only got one gun, but I have no guns. I could kill him pretty easily, though, just by, like, venting him out into space. He'll give me 50 bucks if I threaten him, but I don't have any guns, so what if he, like, resists and then he tries to kill me? 496 credits gets us a new crew member. I'm not going to barter for the metal because I think we have an asteroid field coming up, and honestly, I think that'll give us the resources we need in order to get this stuff done. It's not that big of a concern. It's not something that I'm going to freak out about for right now. I wish I could sell them 40 food, but I don't have 40 food. Like, I would love to get some more money so I can get a new crewman and assign them to be an engineer and get some things done, but that's just the way life goes sometimes. His XP's ticking on up. His XP, oh, he leveled up right there. Look at that. He's at 3 out of 4 intelligence. Nice. So that means he should be actually progressing with his growing food quite a bit faster. Next thing I'm going to do is we're actually just going to extend this downwards. That's it. Like, that's pretty much all we're going to do right here. And so I would like for that to go out like so. That might be a little bit gratuitous in the realm of materials that I just used. But hey, it'll have to do for right now. And 23 metal is definitely not going to cover that. But hopefully we can make it up on this asteroid field over here. I'm going to start playing the game in fast forward because I'm a sav like that. And that's the way that I'm used to playing the game. And I just wanted to keep it on slow for all of you since you had never seen the game before. But now that we're like balls deep in the second episode, I figure, you know, whatever. We'll just kind of mash our way through and see what we can get done here. A little bit of metal right there. So yeah, I'll take that. And then we got a big asteroid coming in right there. I'm going to slow the game down slightly because I'm getting a little bit behind my mining queue at the moment. I got us up to 36 metal. I was hoping we get a little bit more out of that, but you know, if it gets the floors built and it gets the stuff taken care of, then it is what it is. Get a little bit more silicone right there. Sounds good to me. This guy right here needs to get mined. We'll probably get into combat in either this or the next episode. Combat doesn't really have a whole lot of variables. Combat comes down to like who can focus the most fire. The AI does not fight super intelligently right now. It just kind of sprays weapons all over your ship, whereas you have the indomitable ability to focus your fire, something that eludes a lot of AI in a lot of games. I assume later on they'll start focusing fire and they'll get a lot more dangerous. But for right now, it's the best I could get out of there is a little bit more metal. But that should be enough to cover the building that we're currently doing down on the southern end of our ship. I really need that big asteroid to get out of my... Ooh. That silica, though. Dat silica, though. Give me that stuff. I'm going to use that for trade fodder later. I'm going to sell that for buku bucks further on down the line. If you can get one trade that's like sell 100 silica for like 700 credits, you'll be set. And that's when you can start to really stack on crew as you get further into the game. Start to get like 2 and 3 crewmen like every single time you get a trade. Just bang those things out. With 80 metal, I think we'll be able to finish off the job that we have down on the south end of the ship. That should be good. Does that count as the south? I don't really know. I don't know if that counts as, like, in space. Like, what does that count as? I don't know. In space, no one can hear you, Azimuth. It gets confusing. It gets confusing and kind of out there. Let's go ahead and we'll kill off the turrets for right now. Power those off. And that gave me enough metal to where I'm starting to feel confident about maybe setting up a weapons grid. Maybe. This guy's down here studying. We've got 2 engineering done. The 2 engineering done. Can't really do a whole lot, but what we can do is we can start getting some weapons stacked up. And so weapons are going to cost us 15 metal a pop. That's 30 and 30. That'll leave us with 35 left. Let's just put in 2 guns for right now, and then we'll prioritize both of these so that we've got at least a little bit of firepower that we can bring to bear, because if we run into space bears, I really don't want to be unarmed. It's something that I would prefer and I would try to get away from. I would like to avoid it, and so we'll speed the game back up. There we go. You guys down here doing your engineering jobs. I will smooth this out ever so slightly so that it looks a little bit better. But for right now, we've got like a cool little scepter thing happening. I like it. I'll probably turn this into unadulterated hallway down here so that we can start stacking like storage spaces and reactors against the wall. Because why not? Because why not? Each of the guns costs 20 power and 20 processing. So be aware that's going to eat up your ability to... I don't think I can power all these on. Yeah, I'm a little bit short. If I had a little bit more processing power and CPU, I'd be able to handle it. But I don't, so ain't nothing worth talking about for right now. I'm going to call a red alert because we've got a star coming up, and when things start catching fire, I want to make sure that everybody's able to just focus completely on putting out those fires. Ship's kind of getting a sinister look to it right now. Kind of getting a sinister look to it, but I like it. I'm probably going to give it a little pot belly down here so that it kind of expands out a little bit further, but I'll make it do it slowly so it's got kind of that edgy brush look that spaceships get. With red alert on the tanks, we've already got him out there. Yes, please don't allow the gun to get destroyed. We don't get the resources back if the gun gets destroyed, and guns are crazy expensive, so I would really prefer that we end up with nothing burning down. I don't know if you guys want to go over there and put out that fire, but it'd be a great idea because it can burn a hole straight through the fuselage in the bottom of the floor. Is that what it's called in a spaceship? Is it still called a fuselage? Is that only planes? I think we call it the hull on a spaceship. It's just straight like hulls up. I'll probably do something like expand it right there. Let's kill that red alert so they'll get back to work. Get back to work, you mooks. But we got a ship coming up. Stay on blue alert. Everybody stay inside. We don't know if they're going to be hostile or not. If they are hostile, we will butt guns at these cats. They will find out. They'll try to roll up on us, and they'll be like, hey, what you doing, fool? We'll be like, hey, where you from? And they'll be like, shit, I'm from the north side of space. We'll be like, fool, we south side space. Pucka, pucka, pucka. Pew, 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 pew. Pucka, pucka, pucka. And they'll be like, oh, shit, he shot a hole in my Escalade. My space Escalade, why? And I'll be like, yeah, son, because that's what we do out here. Put holes in your Escalade. Why can't I power this on right now? Something has gone wrong, and I can't power this up. It's not a power issue because this takes 20. If I power that off, can I power that on? Why won't that power on? Oh, that's weird. What's gone wrong here? Something's gone wrong, and I don't know what it is. Can I power those on? How come nothing's powering on? Something's gone very wrong here. Something has gone, like, incredibly wrong. Is something powered down? So solar panels are all up. Nothing's powering on. Why? Oh, it's on blue alert. It's on blue alert. Yeah, things won't power on blue alert. My bad. My bad. It's a bunch of traders. They'll take 188 credits for gold. Yeah, I'll sell my gold just to get a little bit of extra cash. And then how many guns do they got? They got no guns. Well, I'm going to threaten them. And they paid up, so we got 200 more credits for threatening them. So apparently on blue alert, you can't turn things off and on. Strangely. Sure. I have no idea why that is, but on blue alert, it doesn't say it, but I guess I never noticed that before. One of those little pieces of minutia that kind of shows up. We got enough money right now where we could buy a new crewman, so that's great. We managed to trade with those guys, get a little bit of goodies from them. I'm going to get the hull expanded out so it looks a little bit nicer. And so there it is. I don't think we should necessarily expand out the hull. I think if I do it like that, it'll look more aesthetically pleasing, although I can't prove it. I can't prove it, but that's what I think will look nicer. And then if I take that down right there, we'll remove this, and then we'll take the hull pieces, and that's when we'll start to collapse that back down in. And we'll kind of do the exact same thing as we go downwards so that it looks good. I think it's the shipbuilding that really sells this game. That's what it is. You get to be like... You get to be creative. And what we'll do is, because you notice how this is kind of smooth, but this is kind of edgy up here, what we'll do in order to make this all work is we'll add some little edgy bits down here to make it still have kind of that threatening kind of insectoid appearance. That same kind of, I don't even know what to call it, but it kind of looks like Klingon space building to me. Because in my head, I imagine that this actually is not straight out. Like, this is actually slanting downwards underneath the ship and hooking forward so that it's got kind of skids underneath it. That's what it looks like in my head anyways in 3 space. But, you know, for right now, it's just going to have, like, this little gut over here, and there's not going to be a whole lot. Well, I'll save the game after we finish the episode. What else could go wrong? We got 3 engineering points, which is great, because that means we can get either a small engine or I'm going to get a CPU array. Although it's tempting to take the reactor right now, too. It's very tempting to take the reactor. Reactors are good, and we're about to have a whole bunch of extra space. And then we can get rid of these panels and put in guns instead and, like, rocket launchers and stuff. And so that sort of seems like a no-brainer to me. Like, why we have an opportunity to have rocket launchers. Like, why wouldn't we just get missile packs? You guys don't know this about me as a video gamer, but missile packs are, like, one of my favorite things in video games. Like, when I used to play MechWarrior 2 when I was younger, when I was, like, a kid, I would always put, like, LRM-50s and, like, LRM-100s on everything. And then I would just launch all of those at the same time. And if they survived it, I'd just shrug my shoulder and be like, ah, well, they deserve to live. They deserve to live. Because there's nothing more satisfying than watching like 1,000 rockets get launched at a target and they all impact and they all do damage. You get like that noise. I like that noise. And then you get the boom, like that satisfying artillery barrage noise as all the explosions start to come to bear. Yeah, buddy, that V2 rocket feeling, but you've got like thousands of V2 rockets. I definitely need that metal right there, so let's go ahead and get that locked in. Metal! Delicious metal! That actually smoothed out our metal supply pretty considerably. I'm hoping we can get this building done. We'll get into some of the bigger combats later on once we start getting some weaponry nice and ordained. My weaponry all needs to be ordained. I find that it gives them kind of a, I don't know, like a priesthood feeling. A priesthood feeling. Like, I like to think of my colonists as kind of like radical religious space robbers. We just go through space and we piratize. But we piratize for Christ. We piratize for the Jesus. Because that's what Jesus... Oh, this guy is hostile. Luckily... Dude, you're in a dick ship right now, bro. You're like in a dong ship. I'm going to pay you $35 to just get the hell out of my sight. Even though I know I could have killed you. There's no benefit to fighting anybody in this game right now. Like, you don't get anything other than the satisfaction of winning combat for fighting anybody. So keep that in mind as well. Like, I don't get to, like, salvage their ship or anything like that when I kill them. That doesn't happen, and so... Ooh, that's a lot of water. Yeah, that's more water than I conceivably think that I'm going to need. But I'm going to take it on board. Oh, we've reached our cargo capacity. Well, that's a disappointment, but we'll solve that pretty soon, too, by adding a whole bunch more cargo containers to the outside of our ship so that we can be like, yeah, this is where your overflow baggage goes. If you can't fit your baggage inside the fuselage of the ship, be aware that storage areas have been allocated for you and your families should you desire them. I don't think I can put in anything right there, but I can do that. And damn, is that going to look sexy. I think this is going to be super awesome. Is it right when I start salivating over the thought of what this ship is going to look like as we get further into the game? Because if so, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is we're just going to make a bird of prey. Like, that's basically all that we're going to do is we're going to make like a Klingon bird of prey. And so we're going to have the head right here. And then as this expands down lower, it's just going to taper off. And then we're going to go for kind of that Star Trek design, that Gene Rodman design on ships, where we're just going to have giant wings that come around the front. And damn, is it going to look dope once we have it done. Are you guys stoked for that? If you want to see more of this series, leave me lots of comments down below. Super stoked to record this series for you. I've been having a blast with this game so far. I will see you all next time. Let me know if you want to be a character inside the ship. I will name crew members after you. I think I can do that, yeah. And then a vote for what we should name the ship, too. I was leaning towards something like the Saurian or the Draconic or something like that. But hey, you guys have better ideas than I do all the time. So I will see you all later. Thanks for stopping on in. Goodbye, everyone, and farewell forever.